Howdy folks, and welcome back to another Britgrid intermediate blender session. And today we're going to be looking at creating a very simple house with a physics shape. So let's get started. What I'm going to do first is just set up so that we can set a kind of avatar sized person. Let's have a look. Does that look like a person? It does really, so let's just shift that out of the way. Whoa! Didn't mean to do that, but let's move it up a bit. So let's say that's our person. We do that just so that we've got a guide. Let's add in a new mesh cube. We'll just scale that up so it's approximately house sized. Only going to be a little house. We can do this in edit mode. I'm using box select just to make it roughly the right size. So you want room for a couple of floors in it. I'm going to make it a bit oversized because I intend putting some stairs in it. Okay, so let's say that's going to be the outside of our house. So we need to make an inside for the house as well, and we want that to be all part of the same mesh, so we can do Shift D to duplicate that mesh. I'm just going to scale it down a little bit, and then I'm going to flip the normals on it. And the reason I've done that is if I go into solid mode, I think I can show you that. Oops. If I can find the right thing to look at. I just want to show you, actually let me just set my world so that you can see what we're doing. There we go. So if I show you the face orientation, you can see that blue shows faces that are facing out towards us, and if I select this wall here, you can see that the inside, because I flipped the normals, is facing the other way, so the normals are facing towards the inside of what will be the house. So we'll just tweak that again. Okay, so I'm going to put a cut in this mesh. Just going to select that top edge, pull it up. So that's kind of like our house shape. Now I want to select these two faces because we're going to need a floor if we're going to make two levels. So we can just duplicate that ceiling, bring it down a bit to about halfway by something like that. And if I remember rightly, we need to flip the normals on that, just so that it's pointed so it acts as a floor. And we'll duplicate it again, Shift D, and pull that down for the ceiling, and we'll flip the normals on that again. So that's given us our kind of ceiling of the ground floor and the floor of the first floor. Now what we need to do is, if I go back into object mode, I just want to deselect everything. I'm just going to move that light out of the way, and the camera I'll move out of the way a little bit. Now it would be nice if we had a door, maybe a couple of windows in our house. So I'm going to add in a new mesh, a cube, and I'm going to scale that a little bit just so it's more kind of door sized, bearing in mind the size of our little figure there. And we want that to be approximately kind of floor level. So I'm just going to tweak that up a bit, make it into a door size. I'm going to use this object as a cutter, just to cut some holes in the house. I'm going to keep this really simple, so we'll just have a doorway at the front, and we'll have maybe a couple of windows in the front of the house. So I'm just going to duplicate that, just going to move it up, scale it on the Z axis, so we've got a window, and I'm going to duplicate that again. So Shift D, we'll have another window down here, I think, roughly in the same position. There we go. So we can actually join all these together.
Oh, that's it. Shall we knock us with a scooter?
And if we can do that, it's under object, I think, join.
You've gone on ahead of you.
And we need to, we'll give it a name. So let's name that, we'll name that cutter. And we'll give the house a name as well. We'll name that house. Right, excellent. So we need to apply a boolean. Might take us a couple of goes to get this right, but we need to apply a boolean to this, to the house, to cut out the holes in the wall. So we can go to modifier, we can go to boolean, and I think we want an intersection here, and we'll apply it. We'll see what happens. Modifier is disabled, skipped. Okay, I wonder why that is. Is that because we need to specify. Oh, okay, so it's not intersect, maybe it's a difference. Let's try a difference. And we'll apply that. Now if we select these trims and move them back, there we go, you can see that we've got Let me just turn off if I go to edit mode. I'll just go to turn off our faces, our face orientation. So you can see that we've got a couple of windows and a door, nice and easy. So we can get rid of our cutter object now, cutter objects. We can just delete those. And if we go back into edit mode, you can see the geometry is not too bad. I mean, okay, it's made a few little raggedy cuts there, but nothing to worry about. I'm just going to hide the roof, and I'm going to hide this ceiling just by pressing H. And I actually need to put some holes in here, put some cuts in here. So we could actually do the same thing again. So if we go back into object mode, we'll add a new we'll add a new mesh, add another cube. We want to do that with the house unselected though. So add mesh, cube, and this time we're just going to cut a hole. Just going to scale that down. We're just going to use L. We just want it kind of big enough to walk through. So we'll stick that. Don't know quite where we're going to put it, to be honest. We could rotate it. Something like that. Oh, rotate. Z, 90, enter. Just want to put it away from any areas that might cause an issue. I might make it a bit bigger just so that we've got a bit more space to work with. So, oops, let's do a Control Z on that. Let's do an L on that. So we'll just position that. And we'll name that cutter again. So we'll select our house. We'll add another boolean to it. Boolean. We need to select our object. Don't know if I can grab hold of it. There we go. And I think we're going to do another difference, aren't we? So we can just do an apply on that. Now if we grab our box, we can try moving it out the way, and hopefully if I go back into edit mode, let's do that on here. Let's just hide our, or show our roof. Then you can see we've got a little section cut through the floor, although it's not actually joined. It's not actually joined those edges, but we can fix that just by selecting the top edge and selecting the bottom edge, and we can do, oh maybe it has, it's tried to join the edges, I think. What's it doing? No, it hasn't. So we can just do bridge edge loops. So we can go edge, and we can do, if I can find it, bridge edge loops, and that will add in our kind of solid bit. So let's just see how our face orientation is doing. Looks pretty good. Everything seems to be facing the right way around. So now we can put in a simple staircase, and to do that, let's hide a few more of these faces. So I just want to work, so let's hide those. Let's hide those. Okay, so now we can see what we're doing. We might as well make use of this cutter that we made earlier. We could rename it. We could rename it into something like, I'm going to call it ramp now. It's going to be a ramp. So, and I'm going to join the house and the ramp together, and you can do that in object mode. I think the thing that's selected last is the thing that gets the bits joined onto, so object, you can do a join. So our house is still called a house, but it's got this big block outside it now. So let's just select, let's go back into edit mode, select all of that. So you can scale that on the Z direction, and scale it on the X direction. I'm not going to bother with a banister or anything like that. We'll keep it nice and simple. So let's rotate that on Z 90 degrees. Oh, rotate Z 90, enter. I might put a cut halfway through that. Just move it down so we can see what we're doing. I might put 3 cuts in it actually. See how we get on. Okay, so that's done that. So let's select a face here, and we can just bring that out. We'll have a nice long staircase there, and we'll just move that across here. And could do with bringing that up a little bit, maybe. Just want to give us enough room to get up the stairs. Let's bring that out a bit and down a bit. There we go. We can sink it into the ground a little bit, make it a bit smoother. And this edge, whoops, that edge there, we can extrude that on the y-axis like that, and then we can bring that up so that we've got a kind of ramp going up into the ceiling. Just need to select these faces here, a bit close to the wall there, aren't we? Move that in a bit, and we can move that down a bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be kind of good enough. So we can select that edge, and we can also select Whoops. Whoopsie whoops. So, in fact, I'm going to select both edge selection and face selection. So I'm going to select that face there. Oh, I can't do it. Alright. Going to select that face there. That face there. And I'm going to select that edge. See if we've got it selected underneath and all the way around. Yep. So we can just slide that across here. So we've got something roughly speaking about right. Going to go back into object mode. That's our modelling more or less finished actually. Nice simple little house. I'm just going to delete our person, we don't need that. So I'm going to select our mesh and I'm going to apply the transforms to it. So we've done that, so it should be correctly transformed now. And I'm going to save that. I'm going to export it as a DAE by the default. Choose OpenSim static and give it a name. I'm going to save it to my desktop. So I'm just going to call it simple house. There we go. Save that. And I'm just going to pause the video here because I'll load up OpenSim. Then we can go into OpenSim and have a look and check out the physics shape on it. So I'm just going to stop the recording and start it in a minute. So see you in a mo. Hi folks, and welcome back. As you can see, I've just loaded in OpenSim. Just give myself a bit of space. So let's go to build, go to upload, mesh model. I'm going to go to my desktop, simple house. I'm going to open that. Let's call it simple house. And the physics we will choose from file, and we'll just use the simple house. Calculate the weights and fees and upload. There it is, so pop it down. We've not given it any material, but let's just make it a bit brighter. Blank. Okay. So let's see if it's worked. Let's see if we can go through the doorway. Oh, there we go, a little bit of a bumpy step. Oh, let me zoom in a little bit. So let's try going up this ramp. Whee, here we go. Am I going to bang my head on the roof? I'm going to bang my head on the roof. I might have to. It's just a bit too. It's just a bit too. Ceiling's just a bit too close to my head. Okay. Well, can I TP onto that? Yeah, I can TP onto that bit. Right, okay, so we could go in and amend the model and change that. But, that said, you can see that we've got pretty much a perfectly serviceable physics shape for this house. I can't be bothered to go downstairs, I'm just going to drop through the floor. Whoops, there we go. So, apart from the ceiling being a bit low in there, it seems to work fine. We could even check the roof if we wanted to. Let's see how we're doing on the roof. Whoops, can I stand on the roof? Or am I going to slip down? Oh no, we can stand on it, that's fine. So, there you have it. That's creating a very simple mesh house with a simple physics shape. So, thanks for watching. Take care. Stay tuned into the channel. Give it a like. And see you next time. Bye for now.